everybody, welcome back. In this video, we are going to discuss Thailand's new visa measures. They just passed. Right now it's July 23rd, so they just passed and it's actually effective as of July 15th. They just passed and made a lot of changes to visa immigrations and new visa measures and how long you can stay. So we're going to discuss that. And of course, I'm going to put a little spin on it. I'm going to talk about stuff that most people on YouTube don't talk about, which I don't know why. And part of that is I've been living in Thailand since 2021. So right now it's the middle of 2024. Right now I'm back in the States. I'm visiting family and I'm getting ready to go back to Thailand shortly. And we'll discuss that a little bit later in this video. But what you have to understand is anytime Thailand makes changes like this, they extend how long you can stay just on your passport, or they come out with a new type of visa like the DTR visa. So anytime they make changes, you kind of have to take them with a grain of salt. And what I mean by that is, even though it's effective, even though right now we can do it, okay, and it's going to be effective 100% through high season, this high season coming up, November of 2024. But with Thailand, it's kind of up and down. Is basically what happens is in high season, this coming high season, if there's a lot of issues going on, a lot of issues with Falong, they will come back and they will stop and they'll go back to the original rules that they have set with Thai immigration, meaning that besides you staying 60 days, they're bringing it right back to 30. So in my experience living in Thailand for like 3 years, that's always in there. This might only be good for 1 year and they might go back to the original. So, I mean, don't quote me on this, but Thailand is very notorious for doing this. And then I'll give you a couple examples here and then we'll kind of move on. Back in 2021, in October 2021, remember Thailand came out with the STR visa. What's the STR visa? The STR visa was the special tourist visa. Now the special tourist visa, you could stay 9 months in Thailand. You could stay 9 months. So how it worked was, it worked like a regular tourist visa. You could stay 3 months. Then you could extend it twice. So you can extend it 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. So you can stay a total of Thailand without leaving for 9 months. That was called the STR visa. It was only good and only active from October of 2021 to September of 2022. So in September of 2022, they didn't reactivate it. They discontinued it. You couldn't do it no more. So that's my example. Anytime they come out with something new, they try it for a year. Then if something doesn't work or they don't like something, it's causing too many issues in Thailand, they will discontinue it. It's the same way with, I don't know if I can say this, the same way with legalizing marijuana in Thailand. That lasted about 1 year. And now, marijuana is not legal. So all these people have built weed shops and stuff like that. They have 3 months to take everything down and stop selling. So those are things that kind of go on. And that's why I like to share just from my personal experience with living in Thailand since 2021 and really giving you kind of real advice and not sugarcoating it a little bit. But right now with these new measures, they're active. They will be active probably 100% through this coming high season, 100%, but we don't know any time in the future. When we talk about next year, this might be still effective or it might not. It might change. It might go right back to the original rules. So I am on the New York website inside the United States. I live in the United States, so I'm coming out of, I don't live in New York, but this is when I apply for a visa, I use New York because I don't live in Los Angeles anymore. So what other changes? Now, the biggest change, there's a couple changes here. The biggest change, like on your passport, anytime you travel outside, leave your country, you can stay 30 days in a country. So in Thailand, they've changed that to 60 days. So now instead of staying 30 days on your passport, now you can stay 60 days on your passport. And you can do one extension. So you can actually stay 90 days just showing up on your passport. And this is a pro because every time I've went to Thailand, I've went on a tourist visa or I've went on a multiple entry visa. So I've always kind of came to Thailand on a visa. So there's pros and cons with the visa. The visa is, I can stay 100% because I got the visa. But at the same time, you got to qualify for that visa. And the biggest thing, it's very easy to get a tourist visa, but the biggest thing people don't like about it is if they're new to Thailand, they kind of want to move around. They want to move around. They don't want to stay in the same place. They don't want to stay in the same condo, the same hotel. And that's really the drawback when you file for a visa. Because when you file for a visa, most of the time, you got to prove where you're living, where you're staying the whole time you're there. Now, there are loopholes with that, but I won't get into them right now in this video. So if you want to know some loopholes, you can question down below. So I've been doing this stuff for the last few years, and I'm talking just from experience. So that's really the main pro, is you can show up on your passport. You don't have to prove where you're staying. You don't have to have a round trip ticket out. I mean, those are all pros. You can show up, stay 60 days, do the one-time extension, and you stay 90 days. Now, the only thing with the attorney side of me is coming out is that when you come down here, if you see my pointer here, the last sentence here, when it says, the extension of stay is solely at the discretion of the immigration officer. So what that means is it's really broad speech. So I don't really like broad speech because, you can stay 60 days, but when you go to immigration to get that one-time 30-day extension, they can deny you. I mean, that's kind of what it means here. Or maybe during that time you're going getting that 30-day extension, maybe you're right in the midst of high season and there's a lot of issues going on. So then Thai immigration comes through and said, hey, we're not going to give nobody an extension. We're not going to give nobody a 30-day extension. And they do away with it. I mean, with broad speech like this, it's solely on the discretion of the immigration officer. It's solely on the discretion of the immigration office you go to. But in my experience, I've never had issues with immigration. When you go to immigration, you always show respect. You always remember saving face is really, really huge in Thailand. You always show respect. You don't lose your temper. You don't argue. You stay calm and collected. And because most of the time they work with you with this, you know what I mean? And on top of it, if you don't have any like check marks or red checks on your passport, meaning you've done overstays before and stuff like that, you got in trouble before where it's going to be on your passport when they look you up, I mean, that could affect it as well. But if you do everything by the book, usually they'll work with you. Usually there's no issues. So the visa extension, the visa exemption has increased to 60 days instead of 30, and it went out to 93 countries. So whatever country you're from, you can look at the list in your own country to see if you're on there. You probably are. And we don't really need to go through all this stuff. This is just kind of mumbo jumbo. Now, next on the list is probably the last thing we'll talk about is they came out with a new type of visa. It's called the Destination Thailand Visa, the DTV visa. Now, this visa right here, the only thing I can give you right now is the information they have. Now, this visa right here, I'm actually going to file for. So when I go back to Thailand, besides going back to Thailand on a tourist visa, besides going back to Thailand on a multiple entry visa, I'm going to go back to Thailand on the DTV visa. So, once I actually go experience it myself, once I actually file the documents myself and it get approved, I'll actually make a video of it just because I'll know more. Right before I made this video, I did send immigration in New York an email because I had a question with a DTV, and I'll share that question with you here in just a moment. But you apply for it just like you would apply for a normal tourist visa. And this visa is for three types of people. They're for digital nomads. The most of the time, it's going to kind of be popular within the digital nomad community. If you're a remote worker, digital nomad, you're a freelancer, that's one that you can file for this visa. You can also file for this visa if you're taking Muay Thai courses, Thai cooking courses, any type of Thai sports training, if you receive any type of medical treatment or seminars or music festivals, you can apply for this visa as well. And of course, the third one is if your spouse and dependent children of DTV holders. So that one, that one knocks me out of the way. But But mine is the digital nomad, a remote worker, because I work remote, and I own my own company, which is remote. But now let's go down to the required documents. And I looked at these documents I went further on their website. It says the same exact thing. The visa fee is 10,000 baht. So the visa fee is 400 US dollars. So that's about 10,000 baht right there. So it's a one-time fee. It is a multiple entry visa and it's valid for 5 years. So this is a 5-year visa, multiple entry for 400 bucks. So that's pretty powerful right there. The period of stay is 180 days per entry. So you can stay 6 months, one time. You don't have to do, now you know what you're talking now if you've been in my situation where you're doing border runs, you have to leave and come back, you don't have to do any of that. You can stay 6 months at one time, and you don't have to leave Thailand, and you don't have to check in with immigration every couple months, because every time you do a border run, guess what? You have to check in with immigration, then you come back, then you can stay 30 days, and you have to file an extension. So you're always popping in immigration, about every other month. So it basically does away with that. You can stay 6 months at one time, and there's one extension of stay. You can extend this one time. Okay, so but you can't exceed 1 year. So how it works, I'm down here, the extension of stay, you can extend it one time. So you can stay 6 months, 180 days, then you can extend it one time. So down here it says you can extend it one time for a period not exceeding 180 days per entry. So it says after the maximum stay of 180 days, plus you did the extension of 180 days, which is 1 year, at that point, you have to depart Thailand and re-enter with the same DTV visa within the visa date, meaning the valid date of your visa, because it's going to be valid for 5 years. So but you have to leave in 1 year. So how it works, I'll do it one more time. I know you guys get this, but you can say 180 days, 6 months. You can do one extension without leaving Thailand for another 180 days. So you can stay for 1 year. At this 1 year mark, you have to leave Thailand. You can't extend it no more. You have to leave. You have to leave Thailand and then come back. When you come back on the same DTV visa, and you can stay 6 months, and then you can extend it again from there, stay 1 year. But you do have to leave at that 1 year mark. That's how it says, that's how it explains it right now, unless they change it down the road, but right now that's how it works. Now let's go over to the required documents. Now this is what basically made me kind of have a question. This is why I reached out to Thai Immigration in New York, because everything's fine and dandy. This seems like a very simple visa to get, because you look at the documents, it's like, holy crap, like a tourist visa or multiple entry visa is harder to get than this. But I will tell you my question I have. Now, of course, you need to have your passport, your picture of your passport. You have to have a passport photograph of yourself. I mean, just in case you never filed a visa before, you have to have a picture of yourself. You upload into the system. It's a passport photo of yourself along with a copy of your passport page. Okay. Then you need a document indicating your current location. This is usually your driver's license. Like in the United States, they want to know where I exactly live and my address on there, what state I'm coming from. So that's what they want right there, like a driver's license. Number 4 is financial evidence. So you have to submit a bank statement. And the bank statement, you have to have 500,000 baht in your bank. Okay, now 500,000 baht in the US is $16,000. Now it does say this, it does say $16,000. They don't want, I will merge over and I'll show you exactly where it says the $16,000, just in case you are in the United States. Because you might argue, well, Chad, they say 500,000 baht. It depends upon the conversion rate, but it does dictate if you're coming from the United States, you have to have $16,000 in your bank. So, but it's only asking for, one bank statement. So it doesn't, like for a multiple entry, it's like some immigrations want 6 months of bank statements, which is crazy. But this is only one bank statement of $16,000. Okay, now the other one, that number 5, the purpose of your visit. Now, number 5, this is where I kind of really had a question, because this is kind of will make or break you. If you have the income, the income isn't a barrier for you. Number 5 could, and it really depends upon number 5. How strict are they really going to be? How strict immigration is what they're going to be on your purpose of visit. Now, your purpose of visit is really, for me, it would be number A. That's going to be a workation. Like you're basically on vacation, but you work remote. That's basically what they mean by workation. And I'll read it to you. Employment contract. So you either need an employment contract or an employment certificate in your country, or professional portfolio showcasing digital nomad, remote worker, foreign talent, or freelancer status. So I did send immigration a email about this. I can't highlight it, so it won't let me. Just because that's kind of broad. I mean, how strict are they really going to be? Are they really going to want an employment contract, like a letter from your employer stating you're employed and you work remote and what you do? That's kind of how it's reading to me. Or they want some type of employment certificate in your country. Okay, now with me, what my scenario is, which could be your scenario also, and I'll share my scenario, is that, I own my own company. So I've owned my own company. It's been incorporated. It's a corporation. It's been incorporated for a decade, for like 10 years. So, which I have that going for me. But I basically what I did, I sent an email over and said, hey, look, I'm the owner of the company. What type of documents do you want from me in this DTV visa, in this new visa requirement? Do you want, I can write myself, as I'm the CEO of my own company, I can write myself an employment contract. I can write myself an employment certificate to show you, or do you want my corp docs to actually, so I can prove that I own the company, prove that I own the corporation. So, usually they're pretty good at getting back to me. Usually it takes a few days, but this is where most people are going to fall into, because they're either a remote worker, digital nomad. So, other than that, that's where most people are going to fall into. Now it does go down to B. Your purpose of visit is Thai soft power, proof of confirmation to attend the activity, or a letter of appointment from the hospital medical center. So that's basically you're coming to Thailand for medical treatment. So you need proof that you're coming to Thailand for medical treatment, not just saying this is what I'm for. You need actually proof of it. Or if you have a spouse, you're going to need proof of the relationship, and so forth and so forth. A marriage certificate, birth certificate, and all that jazz. But I think most people are going to be attracted to this, remote work, digital nomad, and how really strict are they really going to be with the immigration? What are they really going to want to see from you? So this is the visa that I am going to file for. I haven't filed yet. Right now, I saw this pop up here. So then I thought, okay, I'll start gathering my documents. And usually how I file a visa is I gather all my documents first. I don't start the process. I gather everything first. I have a copy of my bank statement. I have a copy of my passport, a photograph of myself, a passport photo of myself. I have a copy of my driver's license. I get everything ready. And then when I go on the system, all I do is start uploading everything, because I got all the documents ready, and I'm pretty much done in 10 minutes. So that's how I would advise that you would do it, is get everything ready beforehand, and then that way when you actually create an account, you can just get it done. At that point, all you have to do is upload. Now with that, since we're on the kind of filing for a visa, I'm not too concerned with it, just because from my experience, I've lived in Thailand since 2021. Every time I go to Thailand, I go on a visa. So I've done tourist visas multiple times. I've done the multiple entry visas. While I'm in Thailand, I've had to leave and come back. I've done border runs. So with that being said, then when you're actually in Thailand, usually you're messing with Thai immigration every couple months anyway. So you always, I have at least the last 3 years, I have tons of experience dealing with this stuff. So I've never had a situation that they don't work with you. I mean, when you file for a visa, no matter if it's this visa right here, if it's a regular tourist visa, multiple entry visa, they will work for you. If if they want additional documents, they just reach out to you. They don't just deny you and that's it. They will reach out to you and ask for something additional. Sometimes it just asks for a letter, and sometimes it's you writing the letter, just to make sure that you're going to comply with all the rules and stuff like that. So every time I've filed, I've had no issues whatsoever. But lots of times going into it, and this is a new visa, you might not have experience filing a visa. So sometimes in the beginning, it can be kind of nervous and nerve-wracking and all that stuff. But usually, in my experience, they do work with you, and just be nice and be courteous and give them what they want. Now, the visa on arrival, they've opened it up for 31 countries. I won't go through the countries. That just means some countries you can, let's say you're flying to Bangkok. Once you land in Bangkok, you go through immigration. There is a visa on arrival right when you go through customs, where you will go and do your visa on arrival right there. So they open it up for 31 countries. The United States wouldn't be on it just because you already get the 60 days on your passport. Then the United States, if you're from the United States, it's easy. I mean, you don't have to worry about the visa on arrival. And then they talk about the non-ED plus visa, the education visas and stuff like that. Like with the education visas and permits and stuff like that, in my experience, I've almost got the education visa. My original plan before they came out with a new visa here, my original plan was just to go back on a tourist visa, and once I'm there a couple months, just do the education visa. But now, since they came out with the new destination Thailand visa, the DTV visa, where you can stay 6 months, extend it for 6 months, you can stay for 1 year, and it's a 5-year multiple entry visa. Now I'm thinking about doing that instead of the education visa. But my experience with education visas, it is cheaper to do in Thailand. It's a little bit more expensive if you do in your country and actually go in there. It's better to be in Thailand, and you kind of do a little bit more research. You can talk to visa agents and stuff like that. You can actually go to immigration yourself and talk to the immigration officers. They will help you out. They're not mean, you know what I mean? And most of them that kind of help customers can speak English, so they know how to explain things and stuff like that, what you need to do, what documents you need, and so forth and so forth. But from my experience, all the research I've done with education visas, or if you want to study a Thai language so you can stay in Thailand for 1 year, it's cheaper to do in Thailand than trying to do it in the United States and actually go there. So if you're going to do something like that, I would just get the regular tourist visa, go there on your tourist visa. Once you're there, do your research, and then file and do the transfer and file for the education visa. You have to transfer from your tourist visa over to education visa, and then of course you need a college, the college you're going to, and they will help you as well because they give you all the documents that you need for immigration. So other than that, my friends, that is it. I just wanted to go through that. I mean, it is official. That's why I didn't make a video on this, even though it's still kind of up in the air. Even though it's official, we don't know everything yet. The simple thing is you can stay 60 days on your passport. You can extend it 30 days. You can stay 3 months in Thailand with no visa, no tourist visa whatsoever. Then they came out with a new DTV visa, which is valid for 5 years, and you can stay 6 months at a time. So we'll see how long this lasts and see if it lasts for a while. I'm 100% it's going to last this high season, and it might not always last. They might do away with it by next year. We don't know, because again, Thailand always makes changes. They're always going to, if it gets crazy busy this high season, and there's a lot of Falun that's doing things they shouldn't do, they could do away with a lot of these changes. So nothing is set in stone. No matter if they make changes, it could actually go backwards. They could actually go back to their original stuff. But anyway, just want to share that with you. If you have questions, comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.